Right, guys, welcome to tonight's live stream. This is just going to be to run through the pictures of the weekend as well as going through the teams and doing the predictions for this weekend. So, welcome to this live stream. Let me know in the comment section. I also do have a poll up on the channel at the moment. Just want to get to that real quickly. So, let's see if we can just quickly jump into that and give you guys predictions so far of what the poll currently has got for us. So let's just hang on a second while we wait for that to go live. There we go. So currently the poll on the channel got 17 votes. Match of the weekend, we've got Springbok versus Scotland, All Blacks versus Ireland, England versus the Wallabies, and then Wales versus Fiji. And currently we've got 17 votes. 71% says the Springboks versus Scotland, with the All Blacks and Ireland game coming in at second place with 17%, while the England and Wallabies game coming in at 11, and in Wales versus Fiji coming in at last at the moment. So yeah, we definitely know who the favourite game for the weekend is. So Kleiny Other Steenkamp says hi. How's it going? I hope you're well as well. So yeah, without further ado, let's run through these team lineups for today. So we first got the Springbok lineup. They're facing Scotland in the first game of the weekend, starting at 3 o'clock SA time. If you run through the South African side, we've got Oxnard, Bongi Bunambi, Trevor Nyakane, Evan Etzebeth, Franco Mostert, Sia Kolisi, Kwagga Smith, Dwayne Vermeulen, Herschel Jantjies, Elton Jantjies and then Makazole Mapimpi, Damien Dialendi, Lukanya and Jesse Creel, as well as Willie Leroux in that starting lineup, with the replacements being Malcolm Marx, Stephen Kitzel, Vincent Kok, Lood de Jager, Jasper Wiese, Kobus Reinach, Andre Pollard, and Francois Steyn. So the first thing that we need to look at when you look at this team lineup, you look at the changes that we've made from the previous game, and first comes in the likes of Franco Mostert into the starting lineup, as well as Elton Jantjies, as well as Willie Leroux in that starting lineup. So not a lot of changes made from the game against Wales. I think Jacques Minaber going for consistency. Whether it's the best side that we could have picked for this game is another question altogether. But I am looking forward to see what the likes of Elton Jantjies will do in the starting lineup. I know I haven't been a big fan of Elton Jantjies over the course of the year, and yeah, I do believe that he's a phenomenal Super Rugby player, club rugby player, but he hasn't really proven himself at the international level. And I mean, a drop goal and a kick right in front of the post will not change my mind that easily. So he gets an opportunity against the Scotland side with the likes of an attacking fly-off, with the likes of Finn Russell at fly-off, to prove himself to the side and to show exactly what he can do in this lineup. So let's quickly go and have a run through the Scotland side for this game. A very interesting pick from them. So you've got Piers Skuman, Stuart McAnally, Xander Ferguson, Sam Skinner, Grant Gilchrist, Nick Haining, Jamie Ritchie, Matt Ferguson, Ali Price, Finn Russell, Duan van der Merwe, Matt Scott, Chris Harris, Rufus McLean, and Stuart Hawk in the starting lineup. And then you've got the likes of Ewan Ashman, Jamie Barty, Ollie Kebble, Jamie Hodson, Hamish Watson, George Horn, Adam Hastings, and Blair Kinghorn on that bench. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what's going to happen with that replacement. So the thing that I said to a friend of mine earlier today is that I don't think that Scotland's got the killer blow in this lineup. Piers Skuman has been phenomenal. He's a South African player who I would have loved to have seen playing for South Africa, but at the end of the day, he's not going to be part of that. So he's now a proud Scottish player, and definitely looking forward to what he can do in the future. Klein, the other team come ask, how's it going? It's going really well. Thank you. I really appreciate you asking, son. And Barry Green also said, how's it going? I hope you guys are well, Barry and Clay. Um, Really looking forward to the weekend's rugby. So if you look at this team lineup and you look at the likes of Nick Haining coming at 6, I was very surprised that Jamie Ritchie didn't slot in at number 6 with the likes of Hamish Watson at number 7. I think it's a terrible mistake from Gregor Townsend, to be quite honest. I would have definitely played Jamie Ritchie and Hamish Watson in the same side. I just don't think that Hamish Watson will have the same kind of impact off the bench that he would have had in that starting lineup. And they need to hit hard and they need to hit early. And I just don't think that they will be capable of doing this with the side that they've selected for today's game. If you look at Ali Price and Finn Russell, a very formidable halfback against the likes of Herschel Yankees and Elton Yankees. I wouldn't say they're better than us, but definitely it's going to be a really close encounter. Aldi Pokaya says, love my rugby. Great to hear that, Aldi. I mean, rugby is the game for all people, whether you like it or love it or play it or not. It's one of those games that you can watch eagerly and anticipating the outcome of the game. I mean, it's not as close as football, but it's definitely a lot more entertaining than football. So I agree with you there. Clay in the other Steenkamp says, I love this game. Barry Green says, tell me out of Scotland squad, who all South Africans? Tell us the names. So, yeah, it's not a lot of South Africans. I had a little bit of a chuckle earlier when I saw one of the other YouTubers' channels saying South Africa side to face Bok laden or South African laden Scotland squad, which is not true at all. There's only 3 South Africans in this team, which is Piers Skuman, as well as Duan van der Merwe, as you guys all know. And then we also got Ollie Kebble. So only 3 South Africans in that starting lineup. I don't know how this is a Bok laden or a South African laden Scotland squad at all. I mean, it could have easily gone the other way, and we could have had Hugh Jones in the side. We could have had Jaco van der Walt in the side. I mean, you could have had Carl Steyn in the side, but at the end of the day, there's only 3 South African players in that squad. So I was very amused to see that comment or that headline on one of the other YouTube channels. I mean, nothing against them, but get your facts straight before you post something like that. I mean, it is clickbait at the end of the day. So again, Duan van der Merwe, quality player. I don't know a lot about Matt Scott, to be quite honest with you guys. I would have thought they would have gone with some bit more experience, like the likes of Sam Johnson, but I do think that he might be injured. So, likes of Sam Johnson out, as well as the likes of Hugh Jones, who could have started this game, another South African player. So, he's definitely not playing. So, yeah, I don't know too much about this midfield combination. We know Chris Harris is quite a phenomenal player, but apart from that, not a lot to be too surprised about. I do like the likes of Rufus McLean on the number 14 out right winger. That guy's got a step on him that really begs to be stopped. So, yeah, whether South Africa will be able to stop him, it will be up to Makazole Mapimpi and the Alendi and the Kanya to stop him. So, yeah, whether they will be able to stop him will be interesting to see. But one of the danger players for sure for me is Rufus McLean on the right winger. Barry says, what provincial sides did they play for in South Africa? Those 3. So Piers Skuman was with the Bulls previously. Duan van der Merwe, I'm not sure whether he was with the Bulls or the Stormers, but he might have been somewhere down the line there. And then Ollie Kebble, obviously, was with the Stormers as well. So nobody from the Sharks or the Lions, though. But yeah, Ollie Kebble coming from the Stormers, Piers Skuman coming from the Bulls, and then I'm not sure about Duan van der Merwe, though. He could have come either from the Stormers or the Bulls side. Yeah, so very interesting first battle here of the weekend. If you go back and have a look at the South African side again, you look at Oxner Shear, Bongi Benambi and Trevor Nyakane has been phenomenal in that first test, well, on this Autumn Nations Test Series. So, yeah, deservingly getting another shot at it. Franco Mostert coming in for Lua de Jager. Eben Etzebeth has been brilliant. Sia Kulisi has been quite brilliant. But I do have a pain, and yeah, maybe now is a good time to talk about that. So Mark Keone, the South African writer, and he's very controversial, to be quite honest. He says a lot of nonsense that I don't agree with. So yeah, but one thing I did notice throughout the week, he says that Sia Khaleesi should be called SA Player of the Year and should be awarded the Player of the Year. And I nothing against Sia Khaleesi. He's had an absolutely phenomenal season. Don't get me wrong. But then you've got the likes of Lukanya who's been brilliant all year round. If you look at his captaincy skills, the way he pulled back his players in that Wales test, organising the defensive line, just a phenomenal player. Yes, he knocked the ball on over the try line against the Wallabies a couple of weeks back, but apart from that, he has absolutely been brilliant defensively, absolutely brilliant, and I still think that Lukanya definitely deserves the SA Player of the Year award, if not the Player of the Year award. I mean, obviously there's other guys, the likes of Ari Sevilla, who's been absolutely brilliant. Marcus Smith has been good for England. Anton Dupont has been brilliant for France, but and also then Quade Cooper has been brilliant for Australia. But when we get to the Player of the Year, it definitely have to be close. Well, either Lukanyam needs to be a nominee, or I don't know what's going on, but not Sia Khaleesi. As good as he's been, I honestly don't think he has been that brilliant. Maybe next year, if he can keep up the form that he has been doing, he could definitely be right up there. 11J says, "Hi, I hope you are well." Thank you, 11J said, "I'm very well, thank you. Hope you're well as well." So 11J said is one of the channel members, and really a shout out to you, 11J said, who's been here all along, and nothing against Barry or whoever also has been around for quite a while. 11J said has become a member, and I really appreciate that a lot. So yeah, looking further on, Herschel Yankees, Elton Yankees in a 9 and 10 combination, a very untested, or should I say, inexperienced halfback combination between Herschel Yankees and Elton Yankees. Like I said, I haven't been a big Elton Yankees fan throughout the year. Even previously, I think he's a phenomenal club player, but he just hasn't been able to prove himself at the international level. And today or tomorrow might be that opportunity for him to really showcase his talent and show what he's got. Mapimpi and Jesse Creel, on the other hand, has got a lot to prove as well. We know he's an outside centre / fullback, giving him a chance on the right wing. Didn't have a great game last week against Wales, limited opportunities, and this would be a great opportunity to showcase what he can do against the likes of Duan van der Merwe, to be quite honest. So, and then Billy Leroux obviously has been, yeah, hot and cold this whole season through. I would have played Franz Steyn at fullback, but I mean, Billy Leroux, if everything goes well horribly wrong, Franz Steyn is there to slot in at that fullback position. Looking at the bench, Malcolm Marx, obviously you know how vital he is to the side. The likes of Stephen Kitsoff won us the game last week at the death, stealing that penalty from Wales. The likes of Jasper Wiese was quite influential. Cobus Reinhardt did well. Andre Pollard can slot in at either fly half or centre. So it will be interesting to see where they're going to use him in that side. And obviously, Franz Steyn can slot in at 10 and full back. 11J says, hope South Africans score early and start fast. When they played Scotland in 2018, it was a very close game. Absolutely. It was really, really close. So I'm just going to quickly block the user here. So there we go. And then 11J said, I'm looking forward to seeing Yankees and Yankees starting together. Last time that happened, I think, was 2019 against Australia. And they played well together. So, yeah, an untested combination. Hopefully they can build on that. And they can perform really well. Let's hope they can do that. Just that. Moving on, and probably have to give my score prediction for this game between South Africa and Scotland. I think I'm going to go with the Boks by between. Sure, it's a close one. I would say 3 and 12 points. 3 and 12 points would be right up there. If the Boks outplay Scotland on the day, they will be winning by 12 points. And if Scotland do show up at Murrayfield, which I think they will, it's going to be a very closely contested game. So, yeah, 3 points is the minimum, with 12 points being the maximum. I would go for the Boks in this game without ruling out a Scotland upset for this game. I know I've said it before, and really, as from a South African perspective, with the squad that we've selected, we're not allowed to lose any game in this end of year tour, because if we do, then it will be a mission failure. We haven't given the guys the opportunity, like Evan Roos and Elric Lowe and Epel van der Merwe, likes of Warwick Geland. So yeah, let's hope South Africa do pull it off and win free from free on this end of year tour. Moving on to the next match, which would be New Zealand up against a very formidable island side, to be quite honest. And I know I'm looking most forward to the South Africa versus Scotland game, but this one is one that I'm also looking forward, and it could easily just turn out to be the match of the weekend as well. Crazy New Zealand says webcam is everywhere. What the heck? How did they get on? I don't know. So, yeah, he is blocked now, and it's one of those things. So you always get sites like that who's going to try and invade. So looking at this All Black lineup to start with, we've got Joe Moody, Cody Taylor, Nipo Lalala, Brody Retallick, Sam Whitelock, Ethan Blackadder, Dalton Papali, Adi Sevilla, TJ Perenara, Bowden Barrett, Sever Rees, Anton Leonard Brown, Rico Ioane, Will Jordan, and Geordie Barrett. So one thing that's quite interesting for me is that they went back and put Rico Ioane at the outside centre, which, well, he could prove to be quite vital, but I still rate him better on the left wing. I don't think he's quite the outside centre material at this stage, but he might just prove me wrong. I mean, Anton Leonard Brown and Rico Ioane could be devastating given space and opportunity. So it will be quite interesting to see how that goes. They went with Bowden Barrett, a fly off, instead of going with the likes of Richie Mo'unga. I would have loved to see Richie Mo'unga up against Johnny Sexton, but Kenneth Isaac says, love to see Bowden Barrett versus Johnny Sexton against each other. This will be interesting. And then also Kenneth Isaac says All Blacks going all out. So, yeah, it's 14 changes that they've made to the starting lineup against Italy. So you would expect them to come out full force. I mean, the likes of Cody Taylor, for me, is still one of the best hookers around. I'm not so fussed about the front row combination of Joe Moody and Ipo Lalala. I still think if you rank this front row, that they will be quite down the pecking order. I would say South Africa on top, with Ireland in second, and then Australia in third. So, yeah, a lot of work needs to be done with New Zealand in the front row. Let me know in the comments section if you guys agree with me. Then Brody Retallick and Sam Whitelock has been proven all over the course of a few years, probably one of the best lock combinations out there at the moment. So definitely one to be reckoned with. And then Ethan Blackadder, Dalton Papali, and Adi Sevilla might just be the future of this All Black side. I mean, Dalton Papali has been quite a phenomenal this season, with Ethan Blackadder definitely being the youngster who's come through remarkably for this All Black side. And then Adi Sevilla, mobile, agile, and very aggressive in that number 8 jersey. So, yeah, looking forward to him. Definitely looking forward to see what Ethan Blackadder, Dalton Papali, and Adi Sevilla can do together. TJ Perenara, one of the best scrum halves in world rugby. Definitely right up there with the likes of Faf de Klerk, Anton Dupont, Aaron Smith. So definitely won't let the team down. And with Bowden Barrett, one of the top fly-offs in world rugby as well. 11J said, really good All Black side. Thought that Quinn Tupai and Damien McKenzie haven't been selected. have been doing really well. And then 11J said also his Irish team also looks good. I hope Sexton has a good game. So we will get to this island side in just a bit, 11J said. I have a guy that play guitar and do videos, support his channel. He's my friend. So there's the link, guys. I'll leave it up just for a second. You guys can go and support that channel, Barry. No problem with that. You've been around forever. So, yeah, looking at the rest of this lineup, Will Jordan and Severies at the two wingers. I'm not quite convinced with Severies quite yet. I think he's one of those guys that gets a lot of opportunities, but just don't deliver always. I know he's been quite good off the bench as of late, but is he the guy that's going to win the All Blacks the World Cup at the end of the day? When the going gets tough, Severies kind of disappear. And yeah, same with George Bridge. I don't rate both players that highly, and that's why I think that Rico Ioane would be a suited left winger for that, with Will Jordan on the wing or on the right wing. He's been quite phenomenal, and then Geordie Barrett obviously at that fullback spot, really good. Dan Coles, Carlton Agafi, Tyro Lomax, Tupavai, Akira Ioane, Finley Christie, Richie Mong, and David Havili. I do like the likes of David Havili. I'm not going to lie. So David Havili and Anton Leonard-Brown in that centre combination would be quite lethal, I think. Richie Monga needs to start after this year for sure. Whether Finley Christie is going to be one of those players that's going to develop, I know there's Brad Weber and then Aaron Smith, obviously. So whether he will develop into that player that they need is another question altogether. Akira Ioane has stepped up this year, has been a regular start for the All Blacks, but have he delivered the goods? You could argue and say it's very similar to the likes of Severies, who's not been bad, but they've not been brilliant. And is he too loose? Are he too agile? Is he one of those players that's going to cost you a game at the end of the day? That is going to be the question that this All Blacks coaches will have to decide at the end of the day with him. And then Tupavai hasn't really played the world on fire. Tyrell Lomax and Tuna Coffey has been very average, to be quite honest. And then Dane Coles have been quite superior. But with the likes of Cody Taylor there as well, and then also a few others coming through, it's going to get really tough for them. If you look at this island lineup for tomorrow, yeah, you just see quality all around. And I've singled out this game as one of those games where Ireland can beat the All Blacks. I mean, they've done it before and they can do it again. It's not impossible. Crazy New Zealand says, as skillful as Rico is, I still prefer him on a wing, purely for his speed, strength, and finishing ability. Exactly what I just said. I don't think he's that. What's the word? If I can get the word. He's not as fearless and fearsome as he would be on left wing. He's a crazy finisher, but I'd rather prefer him on the left wing than have him on the outside centre at this stage. Maybe in a year or two, he might just slot in perfectly in that outside position. If you look at the silent side, Hugo Keenan, Andrew Conway, Gary Ringrose, Bundiaki, James Lowe, Jonathan Sexton, Jamie Gibson Park, Andrew Porter, Ronan Gallagher, Tad Furlong, Ian Henderson, James Ryan, Kalen Doris, Josh van der Vliet, Jack Conan. Replacements, Rob Herring, Kane Healy, Finney Peelam, Tyke Byrne, Peter O'Mani, Connor Murray, and let's just see who that last person is. So I can't quite make out who that last person is. But if you look at this lineup, a very formidable one indeed. If you look at the likes of Hugo Keenan, who's been quite phenomenal for Leinster. Andrew Conway has been brilliant for Munster. Gary Ringrose has been brilliant for Leinster. Bundiaki has been outstanding for Connacht. James Lowe has played phenomenally for Leinster. Johnny Sexton has been brilliant. Jamie Gibson Park has been good. So you've got players on form and really looking forward to beating this All Black side. I mean, they put 60 points past Japan last week, and you would be crazy not to think that they could beat the All Blacks on this given weekend. mean, Andrew Porter, Rowan Callaghan, Dowd Furlong is probably one of the inform front row forwards in the game at the moment. Given the likes of Kitshoff and Bonambi and Malherbe and in Oxnashire and Trevor Nyakani and Bonambi. But definitely a front row to be reckoned with. The likes of Ian Henderson, James Ryan, quality lock forwards, which could destroy the All Black side at any given day. Brodie Retallick, Sam White, like I said, probably one of the best lock combinations out there, but so is Ian Henderson and James Ryan as well. Caelan Doris, Josh van der Vlier, and Jack Conan. Jack Conan has been phenomenal. Josh van der Vlier basically playing on his name, and then Caelan Doris has been in good form as well. So, yeah, looking forward to see what Tide Byrne and Peter O'Mahony can do off the bench. A lot of people would have said they would have started Conor Murray for this game, but the fact is that Aaron Smith is not starting this test. So, yeah, you can risk it with Jamie Gibson Park, two New Zealanders in that side, with Bundi Yaki also giving a flavour to the Pacific nations. So, yeah, James Lowe, one of those key players that could go out and destroy Severies or Will Jordan at the end of the day. It's going to come down to who gets the best opportunity. But given this forwards back, both sides looking really strong. And I think it could come down to the weather conditions at the end of the day. If it's going to be rainy and wet, Ireland might just pull this one off, while the All Blacks might struggle. But given my score prediction for this one, I honestly hope, as a neutral watching this game, I do really hope that Ireland can beat the All Blacks on a weekend. It's not going to be easy, and it's definitely going to be close. So 11J said New Zealand by 5. I'm going to go with Ireland between 2 and 8 points. It's going to be a nail-biting encounter, I can tell you that. It's either going to be a nail-biting encounter or the All Blacks is going to run away with this game like in 2019. But I just fancy this Ireland side. Anything between 2 and 8 points will definitely do it for me. So, yeah, on any given day, I would have backed the All Blacks. But this one is away. It's at the Aviva. It's a really strong Ireland side. Hungry for victory, between 2 and 8 points to Ireland. The next game, England versus Australia, and it's going to be another cracking game. Unfortunately, the English team and fans are very arrogant, and I honestly hope that Australia do pip them. I know the Australians aren't any better, coming from a South African, but we'll get to the predictions real shortly. If you look at this England side, you've got Alice Jenge, Jamie George, Carl Sinclair, Maro Itoje, Johnny Hill, Courtney Law, Sam Underhill, Tom Curry, Ben Youngs, Marcus Smith, Johnny May, Owen Farrell, Henry Slate, Manu Tuolangi, and Freddie Stewart. The bench for England, Jamie Blamir, Bevan Rott, Will Stewart, Charlie Ewells, Alex Dombrand, Sam Simmons, Rafi Quirk, and Max Mullins. So, yeah, looking at the side, the little baby rhino at number 1, Ellis Jenge. Definitely looking for some battle there and a bit of argy-bargy coming from him. Carl Sinclair definitely not going to hold back. So, yeah, you've got two very fury prop forwards there for England. And, yeah, Alice James and Carl Sinclair will definitely not hold back against this Australian side. Jamie George with the world of experience. Maro Itoje, Johnny Hill in the lock combination. Courtney Law, Sam Underhill, and Tom Curry. Where the hell is Sam Simmons? He's on the bench. Should have started this game, but Eddie Jones obviously not thinking the same as we do. Then Marcus Smith gets his opportunity at Flower. It's like Eddie said, his biggest game of his career up until this date. So it will be very interesting to see how Marcus Smith do. But he's got the experience of Ben Youngs with him, Johnny May, Owen Farrell, Henry Slate, and then the big one is Manu Tuolangi at the right wing, which I think is an absolutely brilliant move. I mean, he's got the speed, he's got the stamina, and he's got the build for this. I mean, he could cause Australia all sorts of trouble at that right wing. If he's been given space, he's got the speed, he's got the ball to run right over you, hand you off, fend you off, run straight over you. So definitely one of those players that you could be looking forward to seeing. And he will definitely go into that centre position at some stage with Henry Slate dropping back into that right wing. So expect a lot of Manu Tuolangi, probably the most important player in this England lineup for this weekend. Freddie Stewart, I don't know too much about. Same goes with the bench. Don't know too much about these guys. So it will be interesting to see how this bench fare against England. 11J said, I think I'm looking forward to this game the most. Really hoping Australia beat England. We're all for that. And then Albert Trutter says, going to be tough for Scotland to play Wallabies and Box in 2 weeks. Box by 12, my prediction. So that's the highest I'm going to go for the prediction for South Africa versus Scotland, Albert. But very possible at the end of the day. And then Aldi says, go the Bombs. Kate Green says, how's it going, mate? Thanks. It's going well, Kate. Hope you well as well. So let's quickly go and have a look at the Australian side for this weekend. So you've noticed no Tanela Tupou. So Angus Bell, Falau Finger, James Slipper starting in the front row. I love Angus Bell. I think he's definitely the future of Australian rugby. And I think that Angus Bell and Tanela Tupou could be very devastating in the future for this Australian side. And then Falau Finger, we know, is a try-scoring machine, always around there at the back of the maul or the ruck. So looking forward to see how he can battle with the likes of Jamie George. And then Rory Arnold, Isaac Rodder, very experienced lock combination between the two. Rob Leota, Michael Hooper, Rob Valentini in a loose trio. Rob Leota has been okay. Rob Valentini has been good, and Michael Hooper has been absolutely fantastic. Another player of the year nomination for me, and it's going to be a tough one. I would definitely, between Lukanya and Michael Hooper, it would definitely be a very, very close encounter. Right, so we've got Nick White and James O'Connor in the fly-off and scrum-off position. James O'Connor at fly-off could be risky, especially against the likes of Marcus Smith, who's been quite phenomenal. He could either make or break this Wallaby side on a weekend. Tom Wright, decent player. Andrew Callaway, for me, reminds me a lot of Clyde Rathbone, the youngster that was. So definitely looking forward to Andrew Callaway. And then Hunter Paisami and Len Ikitoa. Len Ikitoa has been quite phenomenal. But I do want to say, and I do give this as a big concern, Hunter Paisami, for me, as much as he's a good club player or a Super Rugby player, I doubt that he's really performed at international level so far. So if I have to choose one area where this Wallaby side could be vulnerable, it could be at that inside centre, especially with Owen Farrell and Henry Slate and the likes of Manu Tuolangi coming at Hunter Paisami all day. Kurtie Beale back at fullback. It's going to be interesting to see if he's rusty or not, but definitely a guy with a lot of experience. Looking at the bench for Tolo Latu, Tom Robinson, Oliver Hoskins, Will Skelton, Pete Samu, Tate McDermott, Noah Lalasia, and Isaiah Baresi there on the bench. So guys that stand out for me, Will Skelton has had a great season with, is it Toulouse or... Yeah, was it with Toulouse? I'm not quite sure. But he's been quite remarkable in that top 14. Tate McDermott has been quite exceptional. Likes of Pete Samu has definitely come around and showed his class. Noah Lalasia not backed anymore, so it's going to be interesting to see how his confidence will be coming off the bench. I hope England and Australia is a close game, but I think England to win by 17 points. So that's a big call. So I'm going to go, let me predict this game. I've already said South Africa's going to be close. Ireland's going to be close. And I'm going to go with an England victory. And I'm quite agreeing with you, 11J said. I think anything between 10 and 20 points for this game will be a really good result for England. And As much as I love to see them win, Australia, I just can't see it at the end of the day. And then, hello, my Nemus Martin, says Stephanie. So, welcome to this live stream as well, Stephanie. Right, moving on to the Italy side. So, I was unable to get the Argentina lineup for this game. So, let me just see if I can quickly get around and find the Argentina lineup for this weekend, but it wasn't up on the Facebook page by the time I wanted to get them. So let's see if it's available or not. If not, we'll just go through the Italy lineup and think what the result will be for this game. So yeah, no lineup confirmed just yet by Argentina. Albert Twitter says England by 14. Wallabies don't have a number 10, which I completely agree. I don't think James O'Connor will step up against the likes of Marcus Smith and Owen Farrell. Kate Green says, was messing around with your guru. It's Barry, other Gmail account. No problem, Barry. So if you look at this Italy lineup, and Mattia Manozzi, Eduardo Panavani, Ignacio Breck, Luca Marissi, Monty Ioani, Paolo Garbisi, Stephen Varney, Giovanni Licata, Michel Lamaro, Sebastian Negri, David Sissi, Nicola Canoni, Marco Riccioni, Gianmarco Lucchesi, and Ivan Nima. You're looking at a really good side here for the Italy side as well. And Argentina will have to know their story here, because if you look at the side, likes of Monty Ioani has been quite phenomenal for the likes of Benetton. Paolo Carpisi, we know what an exceptional season he had with Benetton last season. Lamara has been quite good. Negri, always a very interesting selection. Lucchesi has been probably one of the informed hookers in world rugby at the moment. Prove me wrong on that statement. So, yeah, a lot to look forward to. But will they be able to gel against an Argentinian side, which will probably see the likes of Buffelli at fullback? What is that winger called? So Carrera, not San. Yeah, is it Santiago Matia Carrera, and also the likes of I can't remember the names, but I mean Moroni will probably be at centre. De La Fuente will be there. The likes of Carreras will start at fly off with either the scrum off being that what's his name? I can't remember. But Pablo Matera, the likes of Lavanini, Guido Petti, Marcus Kremer, and Santiago Medrano, along with the captain, a formidable Argentina side, and they've probably not been as bad as people have made them out, or the results have been so far. So it's going to be, for me, an easy pick at the end of the day. I'm going to go with Argentina for the win. It will not be easy. First half will probably be close, with Argentina probably running away towards the end of the game. It can either go two ways. Italy going to play phenomenally, keep up with Argentina and upset them, or Argentina is going to run away with it in the second half. So, yeah, expecting Argentina to win anything between, let's go 15 and 30 points, depending on how they fare on the day. I mean, with Argentina, you really don't know which side is going to show up. And that brings us to this French lineup as well. I did the live stream last week for this French side against Argentina, and I must say I wasn't really that impressed. Albert Truter says Argentina should win by 20 points. They have a quality side, and Italy is very poor. So, yeah, it's like I said, anything between 50 and 30 points at the given day, Albert. So, yeah, great minds think alike. So we're quite stable on the selection so far for this weekend. And then, like I said, I was never impressed with this French side last week. They're playing against Georgia, which aren't really that much of a competition. So looking at them, Bale, Moshant, Antoni, Waki, Tafiona, Jalok, Aldred, and Macalo, DuPont, Jollybird, and then not quite sure, LaBelle, Pinot, Intermac, Fico, and Jamine. So out of this lineup, which I can make of it, if you look at the side, and I'm not a fan of having Jollybird and Intermac playing in one team. I do believe you either going to have Jollybird at 10 or you're going to have Intermac at 10 with somebody else slotting in at, maybe Dante can slot in at number 12. But I don't think this is the perfect combination. If you look at Bale, had a decent game last week. Mashant was real good. And Tony didn't play his starting this week. Waki was quite good. Jalop were phenomenal at number 8. Macalo did well when he came off the bench. DuPont, as always, a really phenomenal player. And the argument is still out whether who's the best scrum half in World Rugby. Is it DuPont? Is it Aaron Smith? Is it Faf de Klerk? Who is the best number 9 in World Rugby at the moment? Maybe worth another video on its own. But I'm definitely not impressed with Jollybird and Intermac in the same site at the moment. So not quite sure what's going on here. Well, we're still there. So, yeah, not quite impressed with that. If you look at the bench, Albert Truter says, France is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And then Mark Dante says, DuPont. I don't know, man. I think it's worth having a look at the statistics and maybe doing a video on its own. Maybe in the next couple of days, you might see a video up to who I think is the best number 9 in World Rugby. So if you look at the bench, Maofaka was really good when he came off the bench. Grass, Bamba, always a fan of Bamba. Flament was really good at number 4. Willemse was good at number 5. Cross did start the game. Didn't see too much of him. Luca didn't see a lot of. And then Dante, one of my favorite inside centers at the moment. Big, strong, and makes me think back on the days of, if you look back at it, you think of the likes of what's his name, Bastero, Mattia Bastero, Mo'anonu sort of player. So, yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the Georgia side as well. So I'm going to go with a prediction here. I do think that this French side will go out and win this game easily. I don't think it's going to be by that much points. So I would say anything between 20 and, let's make it 25 and 40 points, depending on how this French side come out to play on the day. But to be quite honest, I don't see them running away with this game. If you're going to have a look at the next game, we've got Wales versus Fiji, and it will probably be our last prediction for today, because I have been rambling quite on for about 47 minutes already. So if you look at this Wales side taking on the Fijian side, I was unable to get the Fiji side in time, but a formidable Wales side as well. Albert says I rate Smith over DuPont. He clears the ball the fastest, and that's a number 9 main job, which I do believe as well. But like I said, I can't give you guys the evidence unless I know the facts. So definitely looking to have a look at that stats and stuff to see who the top number 9 in World Rugby is at the moment. Fiacra says, hi, Scotland will bring passion, physicality, and probably a lot of box kicks against the Springboks. So, yeah, expecting a lot of that depending on how the weather conditions will be. Normally very, very wet and rainy in Scotland. So expect a very tight and physical game between the two sides. Having a look at Wales versus Fiji, Reece Carey, Ryan Elias, Thomas Francis, Will Rowlands, Adam Beard, Ellis Jenkins, Thomas Young, Tane Basham, Kieran Hardy, Dan Bigger, Louis Rees-Zammit, Johnny Williams, Josh Adams, Alex Cuthbert, and Liam Williams. So quite interesting. Josh Adams at the outside centre with Kieran Hardy getting a chance at number 9. Tane Basham coming in for Aaron Wainwright, who's injured. And obviously, Alan Jenkins is the captain for the side. Is this the guy to lead Wales into the future with Alan Jones probably not returning to Test match rugby? We'll have to find out. Bradley Roberts, Gareth Thomas, Will Griffin John, Chris Chunza, Seth Davis, Thomas Williams, Callum Sheedy, Nick Tompkins. So I think this is guys that should have gotten an opportunity last week against the Box. Guys like Callum Sheedy and also the likes of Kieran Hardy. But yeah, the result would have probably been in favour of South Africa a little bit more, but it would have developed Wales just a little bit more at the end of the day. Saturday player says Box might struggle against unorthodox Scotland. And then Albert says, do you expect more running rugby with Yankees at 10 for the Box, or will it be business as usual? So, given the game plan of Jock Nienaber and Rassie Erasmus, I do expect us to go to the air as usual. But if Yankees do get the opportunity to hit in a little box kick or a little chip kick or maybe go himself, you will see that. But you won't see it very often, Albert. I think the Box are settled in at playing the box kick more often than not, bashing it up with the forwards, going with the eye up and under, and going for the 50-50 call in the air. But definitely would be nice to see Pollard play a little bit at 12. He did really well when the Box played the All Blacks, when Yankees was at 10 and Pollard were at 12. So that would be really, really good to see maybe in the second half sometime, 11J said. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the Fiji side as well. So I'm just going to head over to my prediction for this one. We know that Fiji are Wales's bogey side sometimes, and they do find it hard to beat Fiji. But this time around, I think in Cardiff at the Municipality Stadium, with a Wales team very hungry and very alive after losing 2 games against the All Blacks and the Springboks, will bounce back against this Fiji side and give them quite a hammering, I think. I think Wales by 25 to 35 points in this one, to be quite honest. Fiacra says more with the ball, definitely Elton Yankees experience. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, depending on the weather conditions at the end of the day. If it's rainy and wet, expect the Box to go with a high box kick, looking for space in behind. If it's going to be, well, cold and dry, expect the Box to run it a little bit more, but don't expect too much from him, to be quite honest. And that basically sums it up for this live stream as well. I think I've given you guys most of the insight. As you know, there are other games playing on the weekend as well. Just to give you guys more or less an idea of which teams are also playing. So we do have the likes of Namibia against Kenya, which will be a great all-African contest. Then we've got Brazil against Zimbabwe, which will be, I do back Brazil to win that game, to be quite honest. And then we've got Belgium against Canada. Can Belgium do another big one over Canada? Canada has been useless this last couple of games, but I do back them to bounce back against Belgium. For some strange reason, I do believe that Canada will hit back. And then Portugal against Japan would be quite an interesting battle as well, just to see how far Portugal has come, playing against quality opposition. We know Japan hasn't been brilliant. Came close against the Wallabies, got trashed by by Ireland. So they will definitely be looking to bounce back against Portugal. But Portugal is running high after their victory against Canada last week. So, yeah, I do believe Japan will win that game by quite a margin, 30 to 40 points. Canada to win by 10 to 20 points. Brazil to pip Zimbabwe by 5 to 15 points. And in Namibia to trash Kenya by at least 30 to 40 points at the end of the day. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think will be the result at the end of the day. Albert Twitter says, thanks, Guru. Great show. Can't wait for the matches. I'm going to leave you guys at that for tonight. It was quite interesting to go through this team lineups. Let me know what you guys think of my predictions. Whether I'll be spot on or not, we'll have to wait and see tomorrow what the results were going to be. Fiacre is going to end this up. Forget about Belgium, include and relegate Georgia. and Romania in the Six Nations from an Irish fan. I would love to have Romania back to where they were a long time ago. But Georgia, unfortunately, is one of those teams too good for Rugby Europe, but just not good enough for the Six Nations, unfortunately. But who knows? Maybe in the future they'll develop and we will see a bit more competitiveness from the bottom teams as well. Hopefully, the World Cup will get expanded and we will see some really good rugby in the future. Until next time, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Until tomorrow for the live commentary, I will see you then.